What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of NBA action here on Wednesday, April 2nd. We're going to break down every NBA game tonight, and we're going to look at a couple MLB games out there. We're going to look bets on the side and over-under, and make sure you're checking that pinned comment throughout the day to see if there are any changes as injury news and player availability is confirmed. Guys, yesterday, not our best day. We had our chances out there. Unfortunately, the Raptors really didn't show up for us. We had Toronto plus 5.5. They didn't show up at all. We were on the Warriors minus 3.5 thanks to an insane performance there from Steph Curry. The Warriors do end up getting the win in cover for us in a game that should not have been nearly as close as it ended up being. On the baseball side, we did have the Nationals plus 135, and they were able to tie that game up late, but unfortunately end up coming away with a loss. So when you take those underdogs, that's obviously a risk that you run, but when they pay off nicely. So we're not going to stop taking underdogs, guys. That's going to be part of the strategy all season long, but a 1-2 day, obviously not what we were after. Slam that like button, guys. If we can get this video to 1,000 likes, we'll give away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random commenter, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you're a huge fan of what we do here every single day, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members get exclusive early access to all of my videos and get their names up on screen in every video, but more importantly, you'll get access to our monthly members-only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member in early April. If we get to 80 channel members, we'll give away 2 hoodies this month. All of our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description and go over there and see our top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily college basketball, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. And Major League Baseball, guys, our most profitable sport the last 3 years in a row, is hot out of the blocks, guys. Printing units over there. You just had a 3-0 day the other day. Looking like another profitable night out there tonight, hitting a 5-unit play on those Texas Rangers. So baseball off to a great start. Click on the link in the description to get over to StumpTheSpread.com. You'll see our free-to-use bet size calculators, free picks that are posted over there every single day. You'll also get access to our email newsletter if you sign up for a free account, and that gets you free picks straight to your inbox as well as updates on our results. So make sure you're doing that, and make sure you're checking your spam folder. We've been having problems with that recently. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today or any other feedback you have for me, and I will personally respond. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the night. We've got the New York Knicks going on the road to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Knicks come into this game fresh off of a walkover, well, not maybe fully walkover, but a 105-91 win there against the Philadelphia 76ers. So obviously a nice, any win you get at this point is a nice win. The season, things tighten up a little bit at the end of the year, and that has not been an exception for really anyone. The Knicks have been dealing with some injuries. They did, enough to get the job done there. Like we were saying, they're still holding on to that 3 seed. They've got a 4-game cushion over the Pacers, so I don't think they have to be too worried, but I wouldn't say they shouldn't be worried at all. So we'll see how things go here down the stretch. I mean, in that win against the 76ers, you can't take too much from that. We see OG Anunoby continuing to put up huge numbers. He put up a 27-piece there. And yeah, just in general, the Knicks played, I would say, relatively well. We did see them play kind of less than the amount of minutes you would normally expect a Thibodeau coach team to play as they prepare, here for the second half of a back-to-back against a very good team. And they did jump out and kind of take care of business for the most part early on. So they shot 38% from 3, did a good job on the boards. That's what the Knicks want to do. Now, we don't have a fully updated injury report coming into this game. We don't really expect guys like Jalen Brunson to be back. There is definitely a chance that, somebody out of this little group here, Karl-Anthony Towns, he was out for that game against the 76ers due to left knee soreness. I think there's a decent chance he comes back for this one. Miles McBride dealing with that groin issue. There's some sort of chance he comes back here, but I wouldn't say it's anywhere close to a certainty. And Cam Payne, guys, dealing with that ankle issue. He was out for that game against the 76ers. We don't have a very concrete timeline on when he might come back. So we'll see who they've got available for this game against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who come into this one fresh off a nice 127-122 win against an LA Clippers team that's been turning a lot of heads lately. In that game, guys, we didn't see Kawhi Leonard play, so that obviously makes, kind of a pretty big difference. That's not the real LA Clippers, but we got good performances out of Donovan Mitchell, a great night there from Jarrett Allen, 11 of 12 from the field, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, a couple steals. Bro was killing it out there. 22 points from Evan Mobley. The bigs were feasting there against the Clippers. So very, very good stuff. They'll be hoping they can continue that trend here. The Cavaliers obviously been the best team, one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference this season in general. They've had maybe mixed results, but I don't know. I think you can pretty solidly say they've been the best team in the Eastern Conference this regular season. However, the Celtics looking pretty scary right now. So we'll see what the Cavaliers do here at home. Looking at their injury report, guys, right now it appears they're going to be playing everyone except for Ty Jerome. And Cleveland, they've still got a 4-game cushion there over the Celtics. Obviously, they haven't clinched anything yet, but they're 75 games into their season. They're getting very, very close to clinching that top spot. So love what we're seeing from the Cavaliers. So do the odds makers. Cleveland, 10.5-point favorites in this game. We've got a total of 230.5. The Knicks, 17-20 against spread on the road. 2-10 against the spread on no rest this season. Cleveland 20-16-1 against the spread at home. 37-21-1 against spread after win. Now, those numbers haven't been quite as good recently, so that's something to take into account. But with the Knicks' terrible numbers against the spread on no rest, I think there's a chance we end up on the Cavaliers here. I mean, the Knicks, I don't know. I just haven't been feeling it. The no Brunson situation isn't great. Obviously, they played at home. Now they got to fly to Cleveland and then play a game. So I think this is a rough spot for the Knicks. They may not even be at full strength for this game. So, well, they definitely won't without Jalen Brunson. So give me the Cavaliers to get a blowout win and cover here. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Charlotte Hornets going on the road to take on the Indiana Pacers. The Hornets come into this game fresh off of a very rare win. They got the 110-106 win over the Utah Jazz, who turns out are very good at tanking. The Hornets, obviously not a team that's supposed to be winning games right now. They're doing their best to lose, but yeah, they had a hard time losing. Couldn't really get the job done. Miles Bridges putting up 26 points. Very solid night for him. We saw KJ Simpson put up 10 points there. A nice night from him. Honestly, obviously not like a ton of points, but he's a dude fighting for a spot. They shot 40% from 3 in the game. They did a very good job on the boards. Like, this is a team that's supposed to lose. They couldn't even figure out losing correctly. So we'll see what they do here. Looking at their injury report, obviously, most of their main guys have been out for the season for a while now. It's not a very potent starting lineup and not a very potent second unit either. So we'll see what the Hornets can do here. Not a team with anything to play for, obviously. They're going up against a team with something to play for in the Indiana Pacers, who are fresh off a very close 2-point win there against the Sacramento Kings. The Pacers at 44-31 on the season are currently in the 4 spot, 2 games up on the Detroit Pistons. So the Pacers trying to do their best to, probably not catch the Knicks. That seems like a pretty tall order, but at least to cement themselves in that 4 seed and get home court advantage in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. So we'll see what they do here against the Kings. Obviously, we saw some positive things. Nesmith putting up 24 points looks pretty good. It's a little bit concerning to see the, kind of inconsistency of Halliburton. I mean, I'm not going to complain about 18 points and 11 assists, but I don't know. You just don't see big numbers from him on a nightly basis offensively. And Siakam really had a bad night, guys. 4-15 from the field and 11 points. The fact they still won this game, pretty impressive stuff. They also didn't get to the line much, but overall, they do find a way to get the win here. And now they get kind of a night off against a tanking opponent. So we'll see how that goes. The injury report's looking okay. Miles Turner, Benedict Mathurin, both on there. Turner, guys, questionable due to an illness. There's a chance he could sit this game out, but I don't think against the the Hornets that makes the biggest difference. Mathurin, guys, dealing with that calf issue is also questionable for this game. Last time he played was back on the 27th against Washington. Whether or not he plays in this game does feel very up in the air. I would kind of guess that he will not end up suiting up. So looking at the numbers here, we see the Pacers 14.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 224.5. Charlotte 16-20-1 against spread on the road, 9-7-2 against spread after a win. The Pacers 16-17-3 against spread at home. 16-26-1 against spread after a win. That's rough, guys. If it wasn't for that number, maybe we would have thought about taking the Pacers, and I feel like we still have to think about it because, man, how much of a fight can these Charlotte Hornets put up against a fast-paced, pretty aggressive Pacers team? It seems a little bit sketch, but I almost lean here, or I guess I actually do lean here towards the Charlotte Hornets getting 14.5 points. I don't think they're going to win this game. I don't think they're going to make it close, but could they lose by 11 or 12? Sure. I think that's very, very reasonable to have in this game. So give me the Hornets getting the points on the road in this one. I don't think the Pacers really put everybody out there on the floor and probably don't put the pedal to the metal all the way. Next up, guys, we have the Sacramento Kings going on the road to take on the Washington Wizards. The Kings come into this game fresh off of another loss. They're down to 36-39 on the season. That 2-point loss against the Pacers has to sting quite a bit. They're currently in the 10 seed, a game and a half up on the Phoenix Suns for that last play-in spot out there in the West. So it's looking rough, guys. It's been really, really rough for Sacramento. They're only 3-7 over their last 10 games. This is not the way this year was supposed to go for the Sacramento Kings. It's gotten bleak, guys. It's gotten really, really bleak. In that 2-point loss there at the Pacers, like DeRozan doing everything he can, 31 points, 12 of 24 from the field, pretty good there. We saw Sabonis, a monster game from him, but the bench, guys, is horrible. Nobody scored more than 5 points coming off the pine in this entire game. What has happened to Malik Monk? Bro went 2 of 14 from the field. 2 of 14 from the field. He did have 7 rebounds and 7 assists, but that's not enough overall there. So, yeah, they're going to have to pick it up. They're going to have to play better. Maybe they want to play better in this specific matchup. We'll see how that goes. In terms of their injury report, they are fully healthy going on the road here to take on these Wizards, who are 16-59 in the year, losers of the last 3 in a row. They just lost by 26 against the Heat. This is a team that knows how to tank, guys. They're getting the job done. They're losing these games. They lost to the Nets earlier. They did beat the 76ers, which is not what you're supposed to do, but they lost to the Raptors. Like, this is a pretty good team at tanking, guys. And they come into this game, they're sitting some dudes out. That's what you do. We see Middleton, George, Marcus Smart all sitting out for this game. Jordan Poole does appear him and Alex Sarr are going to play, but this is not a team that's running out there with a lot of firepower, which obviously not a big shock. This Washington team wants to have as many pulls at the Cooper Flag sweepstakes as they possibly can. So looking at the numbers for this one, Washington getting 12 points. We got a total of 231.5. The Kings 17, 19, and 1 against spread on the road. 14, 22, and 2 against spread after a loss. Not a good bounce back team at all, but Washington only 15 and 22 against spread at home, 23, 33, and 2 against spread after a loss. Guys, I'm taking the Sacramento Kings here to get the blowout win and cover against a Wizards team that really is not incentivized to try right now. The numbers do worry me for Sacramento there, but they have to be getting these wins when they get a chance. This is definitely a spot where you have a chance. Time to buckle down if you're the Kings and get a much needed win here against a Wizards team that is very incentivized to not win games. Next up, guys, we got something of a rivalry game. We've got the Miami Heat going on the road to take on the Boston Celtics. The Heat come into this game playing well, albeit not against the toughest opponents, generally speaking. Like, they did beat the not full strength Warriors during that stretch, but they have won 5 in a row. They're up to 34 and 41 on the season. They're now in the 9 seed. Obviously, nobody's in danger of falling out of the play-in out there in the East. That's been locked in already. The bottom 5 are eliminated officially now, but liking a little bit of what we're seeing from the Heat. They're actually 5-5 over their last 10 games. They've been doing some positive things with that 5-game winning streak. Beating the Wizards, obviously not a ton you can take from that. Bam went nuts out there. He had a big night. Tyler Hero had a big night. Other than that, I mean, the bench came up pretty big. Kyle Anderson, Terry Rozier both chipping in, and Jaime Jaquez Jr. getting some minutes and putting up 14 points on very efficient shooting numbers. So liking what we're seeing from the Heat overall. Obviously, this is a team that would like to be winning games. Obviously, it's definitely better if they could climb up there to the 8 or 7 seed in this play-in tournament, which is going to be a little bit of a crazy play-in tournament there in the East. We'll see how things go, but going to be a little bit nuts. The Heat come into this game looking a little bit banged up still, but these are guys that have been missing time. We got Duncan Robinson and Andrew Wiggins both out for this game. Are they both confirmed out? I believe they are. Yes, both are confirmed out. They're not rushing Wiggs back with that hamstring issue, and Duncan Robinson is back. Another thing you don't really want to play around with too much. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Boston Celtics, who came up pretty big there against the Grizzlies, winning that game 117-103. Obviously, a nice win to have. Boston's up to a 9-game winning streak right now, and they're not quite putting the pressure on the Cavaliers necessarily, but they've got that lead down to 4 games, and more importantly for Boston, they are playing well at the right time of the season. Like, this is a team that has their eye on a championship. Will they be able to make that happen? We'll have to see, but they are a very, very good and very, very dangerous team. In that win, guys, they just got so many dudes that can pop off. Porzingis and Horford can do big stuff there from the perimeter or on the inside. Porzingis was a plus 29 and had 19 points, and we saw 26 points off the bench for Al Horford, knocking down 6 out of 13 threes. Boston only shot 34% from the three-point line, but when you get up 62 of them, you're going to make enough. It's going to make a pretty big difference. And they played some decent defense out there against Memphis, limiting them to 103 points. Boston did a very good job on the boards. We saw a good night out there from Tatum. Yeah, just not even the full strength team either, guys. Jaylen Brown didn't even play in this game. So loving what we're seeing from the Celtics right now. They're looking like a very, very dangerous team. They come into this one banged up, though. Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Porzingis, all on the injury report. So is Al Horford. Holiday comes into this game with a shoulder issue. He's questionable for this one. Jaylen Brown with his knee issue, also questionable. Porzingis questionable due to return from illness reconditioning. So it sounds like they kind of just want to hold him out of this game. And Horford, guys, doubtful with that toe issue. Apparently that massive night was a little bit too much for the old man's foot. So we'll see who Boston actually runs out there, but it's looking like it's not going to be the full roster. And that's also what the spread indicates to me here as well. Boston only 10.5 point favorites in this game. We've got a total of 12.5. Miami 14, 22, and 1 against spread on the road. So not great. 15 and 18 against spread after a win. Boston 15 and 21 against spread at home. They are 19, 35, and 1 against the spread coming off of a win. Obviously, they did just win by 14 against the Grizzlies, and they've been playing a bit better recently, but they let the Spurs keep that game close, and this isn't going to be the full-strength Boston team. So, guys, I'm definitely leaning here towards the Miami Heat getting double-digit points. Historically, they've been good against Boston in these kind of situations, but most of those games were when Jimmy Butler was on the roster, and that makes a real big difference. I think the Celtics are significantly less afraid, or probably not afraid at all, to be honest, of the Miami Heat here without Jimmy Butler. So still, I'm going to be leaning towards the Heat here, getting 10.5. I'd like to see an updated report on the Celtics injury situation before I lock this one in, though. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Utah Jazz going on the road to take on the Houston Rockets. The Jazz come into this game fresh off yet another loss. What is that losing streak to now? Only 6 games, but this team is terrible or great, depending on how you want to look at it, because they are fantastic at losing all of these games that they are supposed to be losing. A 110-106 loss there at Charlotte. I mean, not a lot of positives going on. They, kind of play some guys sometimes, but they jerk them out of the game early. In this one, they weren't even playing anyone, so we'll see what happens. Keontae George putting up a 20-piece off the bench probably feels good, but as a team, they shot 27% from 3. It was pretty brutal out there, I'm going to be honest. They're kind of letting everybody do whatever they want. KJ Martin, I was kind of rooting for the young guy, but it's not looking too hot. 2 of 8 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3, a minus 13 and 5 points out there. I know he's playing on a tanking team, but I don't know. It's not looking so hot. So we'll see what happens down the stretch, but I'm a little bit worried right now. The Jazz obviously not going to be planning on playing anyone they can theoretically sit out, and right now it's looking like a lot of guys. You see Colin Sexton, Cody Williams, Lauri Markkanen, and Walker Kessler all on the injury report. Sexton, guys, dealing with that pelvis issue is questionable. To me, if you're questionable for the Jazz, that pretty much means out. Cody Williams with an illness, he's been officially ruled out. Markkanen dealing with his knee issue, yeah, right, has been ruled out for this game. And Walker Kessler, guys, due to conditioning, is questionable for this game. So not going to be the full strength Utah Jazz. Huge shocker there. They're going on the road to take on the Houston Rockets, who are fresh off of probably a pretty tilting loss, and for me, a pretty tilting not cover there against the Lakers. We had Houston +5 in that game. They were playing on a back-to-back. I thought they'd find a way to make this a one-possession game, and they basically did down the stretch, but yeah, just couldn't get it done there the last couple of possessions. So pretty annoying there, but at 49-27 on the year, I'm sure they're pretty happy with where they're at. They've got a game-and-a-half cushion over the Denver Nuggets there in that battle for the 2 seed, or really that battle for several different seeds out there in the wild, wild West. The Rockets in that game against the Lakers could have used a little bit more offense. I mean, Amen Thompson did put up 20 very efficient points, but we saw Dylan Brooks, not the hottest shooting night. Fred VanVleet coming up terrible again. Played 40 minutes, scored 7 points. He did have 9 assists, but he was 2 of 14 from the field and 1 of 7 from 3. Stuff like this is why people cannot take the Rockets seriously in the playoffs. And it's just the truth, guys. It's just the truth. Like, if your bad possessions end with the ball in Fred VanVleet's hands and he's the one that's got to hoist something up, like, that's not going to be a great look. I'd rather see it end up with Jalen Green, although he had a terrible night, guys. He scored 9 points in 31 minutes and was 4 of 13 from the field. So just not a great look there for the Rockets in that game. They had their chances. The bench actually played really well, but they just could not make it happen there in the end. So now they get rewarded with a cupcake opponent. They're taking on the Jazz here. Obviously, a game you expect to be a walkover win if you're a Houston Rockets player or fan, and they're fully healthy coming into this game as well. Houston, 17.5-point favorites. We got a total of 227 out there. Utah, 20-17 against spread on the road, 28-31 against spread after a loss. Houston, a 500 against spread team at home, but 15-11 against spread after a loss. This is too big of a number to go in the pinned comment, unless I'm taking the Jazz, which I'm not. So give me the Rockets at minus 17.5. I'm not putting a 17.5-point favorite in the pinned comment. I know the Jazz are tanking. We don't have a for sure updated injury report on them. I still think Houston probably wins this game by 20 plus, but that's just not reasonable. That's not responsible. I can't put that in the pinned comment. Rolling right along here, guys, with the Atlanta Hawks going on the road to take on the Dallas Mavericks. The Hawks, 36-39 on the season, just lost their 3rd game out of 4, losing 127-113 against the Portland Trail Blazers. So not a great look there for the Hawks. Obviously, a team that wants to be winning these games. They are locked into that play-in tournament out there in the East, but you want to finish in the 7 seed, not in the 8 or 9 seed. So they need to be winning these games, and yeah, it didn't look good. I mean, Sharp had a great night out there for Portland, but not a lot of fight there from this Atlanta Hawks team. I mean, Trae Young did a good job getting to the free throw line and managed 29 points. Dyson Daniels had one of his very good offensive nights, but was still a minus 20 out there despite scoring 22 points. The bench didn't look all that much better, honestly. Karis LeVert, terrible shooting night, still managed 10 points and to be a +1, but really, guys, they just have to be better out there. You can't shoot 22% from 3 and think you're going to win very many games. Not a great look. The starters played pretty much full minutes as well, which is concerning here now they have to play on back-to-back nights. And it's not like they're taking on a cupcake opponent necessarily either. So, yeah, going out west, not usually an easy thing for most of these Eastern Conference teams. So we'll see what happens here with the Hawks. They look like they're going to come into this game fully healthy, but obviously not a fully updated injury report. We'll see what they can do here on the road against the Dallas Mavericks team that just, they crapped the bed, guys. They lost to the Brooklyn Nets 113-109, so obviously not a great look there. Not the kind of game you're supposed to be losing if you're the Dallas Mavericks. Not really a game you're supposed to be winning if you're the Nets. You're supposed to be tanking, but sure, all 5 starters scored in double figures, but Anthony Davis, 5 of 10 from the field, good stuff there. He played well, but Other than that, it was pretty bleak. Klay Thompson, a down shooting night after a good shooting night. Spencer Dinwiddie looking bad out there. Gafford played well in his 19 minutes. PJ Washington, though, not a great night from him either. 12 points off the bench from Max Christie, who played okay, but just overall, not a very good night out there for the Dallas Mavericks. They had a good rebounding edge. They played hard, but just not enough there in the end. And you're not supposed to lose games to the Brooklyn Nets here. The Mavs have to be paying attention. They are currently in the 9 seed, but they are only 2 games up on the Phoenix Suns for that 11 seed, which would mean they miss the play-in. So I don't think they're really in danger of that, but it hasn't looked great recently for the Mavs. They've got a shot to turn it around here, though. Looking at that injury report, it looks like Anthony Davis and Derek Lively both on there. So is Caleb Martin, but we don't really worry about him too much at the moment. It seems like Anthony Davis is going to play. He's probable with that abductor issue, so we'll see how that goes. But I expect him to be out there. And Derek Lively II is questionable for this game due to that, that right ankle stress fracture. So we'll see if he ends up coming back for this one. I don't think it's a huge deal either way now that Gafford is playing. And right now, guys, looking at the numbers, the Mavs are only 3.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 237 out there. Atlanta 20-17 against spread on the road, 7-7 against spread on no rest. Dallas 19-18 against spread at home, 20-17-1 against spread after a loss. Guys, I'm taking the Dallas Mavericks here at -3.5. It might be my favorite play of the night. I don't know if it's going to move all the way up into like the big bet category, but I do think the Mavs as small favorites here at home is very, very playable, very likely to go in the pinned comment. Could even end up being a premium pick over at stumpthespread.com. Next up, guys, we have the San Antonio Spurs going on the road to take on the Denver Nuggets. The Spurs come into this game 31-44 on the season. They're tanking things out, guys, and they're doing an okay job of it. They've lost their last 5 in a row. They just lost 116-105 there against the Orlando Magic. So now they got to play on no rest. Not something that's necessarily been their forte. They did have a lot of answers out there for Franz Wagner or Paolo Banchero. We saw some positives, I guess. Harrison Barnes had a good shooting night. Castle put up 16 points, 19 points off the bench. I mean, I don't know. Just it's hard to find positives. They shot 40% from 3. That's nice, but this team continues to tank, and that's kind of the story of the end of the season here for the San Antonio Spurs. Pretty disappointing stuff. Obviously, with Wemby having a good year and then acquiring De'Aaron Fox, looked like the playoffs were in store, but then injuries took their toll, and obviously that deep vein thrombosis thing with Wemby was a little bit scary. So good to see that he's probably going to be fine, but in general, the Spurs not having a great time right now. Looking at their injury report, we see Sohan out, but really not a fully updated injury report, since they're playing on back-to-back nights here. They're taking on the Denver Nuggets, who are still playing right now. They're playing a close one against the Timberwolves. Playoff kind of feel in that game. We've been watching it on the side over here, and we'll see how that one ends up. Honestly, we'll see what goes on for Denver. They're playing okay, I would say, but definitely a spot they would like to get their first win of the season against those Minnesota Timberwolves. But like I said, we'll see what happens. The Timberwolves not even at full strength, missing guys due to suspension with that whole fight with the Pistons thing. So obviously no updated injury report there for the Denver Nuggets. We'll have to see who's actually available for this game. I do kind of expect Jamal Murray to come back and play in this one. I would say that's kind of the way things are trending, and Michael Porter Jr. So we'll see. It's a hamstring injury there for Jamal Murray, so maybe they'll be ultra careful. And Michael Porter Jr. dealing with some personal issues, so we'll see what's up with that. But the Nuggets, huge favorites in this game. 15.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 235.5. The Spurs, 15-21 against spread on the road, 5-9 against spread on no rest. Denver, 17-19-1 against spread at home, 10-5 against the spread on no rest themselves. They've been a great against spread team on no rest. So I'm going to be leaning here a bit towards the Denver Nuggets, but we need way more information about who Denver's actually going to be playing in this game. But if it looks like it's close to the full strength roster, this could be a very good play and could end up in the pinned comment. Sorry, guys, had to run and grab my little helper. Next up, we've got the Detroit Pistons going on the road to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Pistons come into this game looking pretty good. They are fresh off a loss and a fight there against the Timberwolves, so we'll see if they can regroup here a little bit. But right now, sitting around the 5 seed, not around the 5 seed, in the 5 seed with a 1-game lead on the Milwaukee Bucks for the 6 seed. Things are looking up. Milwaukee definitely a team that's fading right now, and we see Detroit playing pretty well. 6-4 over their last 10 games. Not a lot of complaints. Obviously not their best showing against the Timberwolves. A clearly very kind of emotional game. We see Isaiah Stewart suspended. No shock there. Ronald Holland II suspended. Cade probably going to be out for this game. We'll see what the updated situation is on him. With his calf issue, he's doubtful. They are not trying to hustle him back in any way, shape, or form. And Tobias Harris with his Achilles issue is looking probable for this game. So it sounds like they're going to run him out there, but they're much more worried about Cade for obvious reasons. So we'll see when he comes back, but it's not going to be for this one. They want to make sure they, get in that at least 6 seed, which is obviously a lock, and make sure that they have a healthy Cade Cunningham when the playoffs roll around. So we'll see what they can do here on the road without Cade, taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are absolutely just cruising out there, guys. They're on a 10-game winning streak. They're 63-12 on the season. Like, it doesn't get a whole lot better than what you're seeing out of those Oklahoma City Thunder this season. Like, it's working out. It's all going their way. SGA definitely the front runner for MVP. The numbers obviously would maybe point towards Jokic, but being the best player on the best team is a very good way to win MVP. In that 146-117 win there against the Chicago Bulls, or 145-117 win, loved what we saw from the Thunder. They shot 53.5% from three. Like, this team is not messing around. The bench is so good. Isaiah Joe put up 31 points off the bench and was a plus 14. Yeah, I don't know. They just don't run out of dudes. This team just runs them out there one after another. The second unit, almost as good as the first unit, and they didn't even have Chet for that game. Like, the Thunder just seem like they keep getting better and better. Now, we'll see what happens in the playoffs. The game changes a lot. The pace of play gets different, a lot more half court, all that kind of stuff can change for this team in the playoffs. But right now, they're looking great. They come into this game healthy, except for Aaron Wiggins, probably not going to be out there. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the Thunder, 13-point favorites. I'm not super shocked to see that. The Pistons not going to be at full strength. They've got guys suspended. And most importantly, Cade Cunningham is not playing in this game. So we'll see what happens here, but I definitely have to be thinking about the Thunder. I mean, Detroit, the numbers look great because they have Cade in most of these games, but they're 22-14-2 against spread on the road, 20-11-1 against spread after a loss. But the Thunder, 25-11-2 against spread at home, 40-19-3 against spread after a loss. 13 points is a lot. Maybe we'll see this line come down a little bit, but it seems unlikely to me. Regardless, I'm going to be on the Thunder. It's a big favorite, so I don't know if it's going to end up in the pinned comment or not, but I would say it's got a chance. Next up, guys, we're looking at the New Orleans Pelicans going on the road to take on the LA Clippers. The Pelicans, 21-54 on the year, obviously having a nightmare season, but they are fresh off a win, a 98-94 win there over the Hornets. Obviously, the Pelicans not really playing anyone meaningful in this game, but Jose Alvarado wouldn't let this team quit. Despite a terrible shooting night himself, he was still a +1. We saw 16 points from Antonio Reeves. Like, this team managed to, make some things happen. I mean, Brooks Jr. putting up 17 points at the bench, all playing pretty well, and they get a win, albeit against an extremely tanking team, but still, they will take it. It's been a brutal season for the Pelicans, ravaged by injury, all that kind of stuff. So we'll see if they want to finish the season strong. Obviously, we're not going to see Zion in this game. CJ McCollum appears he's going to be out. Jordan Hawkins going to be out as well. So it's looking like kind of the usual suspects. CJ McCollum confirmed. He's out for the season. So yeah, nobody playing here for the Pelicans as they go on the road to take on the LA Clippers, who are 43-32 on the season, fresh off a nice win there against the Magic. They went into Orlando and got a win against a pretty strong team in a game where Kawhi didn't play. So that's got to be a little bit encouraging. Overall, the Clippers, I mean, they're looking like a dangerous team. If Kawhi is healthy, the ceiling is, I don't know, it feels like the ceiling is a championship. If Kawhi is not healthy, which has been the case, all the time for the last how many ever years, then maybe the ceiling isn't looking like a championship. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, they'll be banking a lot on Harden having a good postseason, not something he's exactly known for. Oh, Kawhi did play in that game against Orlando. Yeah, it was the game before that he sat out. Kawhi played. He put up 21 points, a nice night out there. So Kawhi looking okay, but yeah, 0 of 6 from 3 and 8 of 22 from the field. Not the most efficient Kawhi night. Zubac, a monster performance, and there's a lot to like about this Clippers team, especially when they are healthy. And they come into this game looking pretty healthy. It appears, Norman Powell, Kawhi, Harden, Zubac, Chris Dunn, everybody going to be ready to go in this game. So definitely a big positive there for this Clippers team to be healthy. But is it positive enough to overcome them being 17-point favorites here? We get the Clippers at -17. We got a total of 217.5. The Pelicans only 11-26 against spread on the road, 7-12-1 against spread after a win. The Clippers 25-11 against spread at home, 25-17 against spread after a win. I can't tell which one Arthur likes here, but I like the Pelicans getting the points here just a little bit. I don't think the Clippers are going to take this game seriously, but guys, this is not a game that I'm interested in putting anywhere near the pinned comment. I lost my assistant, guys. I guess he was not interested in looking at this MLB slate. But we got 3 games here that we are pretty interested in ourselves. And first up, we've got the Texas Rangers going on the road to take on the Cincinnati Reds. The Rangers come into this game fresh off of a win in Game 2, a 1-0 win. Yeah, Eovaldi putting up a complete game there as the Texas Rangers get the win. So very, very cool stuff there. The Rangers 4-2 on the season, so not off to the worst start. Obviously not having a great day at the plate necessarily, and they've been a big under team over the course of the season. But right now, guys, feeling pretty good about what we're seeing from the Rangers. They're hitting the ball to young Jack Leiter. He comes into this game 1-0 with a 1.80 ERA after, only one start under his belt, but a very good one there against Boston. He went, 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, a single earned run. He walked 1 and struck out 4. And, we saw his team get the win. We saw the Rangers get the 4-1 win there to back him up. So pretty good stuff. Obviously, not a lot of complaints there as far as the offense for the Rangers go. It's been a little bit hit or miss, no pun intended. They're, below average for sure, but this is the very early goings, guys. So we don't know for real what we're going to get out of this team here down the stretch. So liking what we're seeing from the Rangers right now. Obviously, they're on the road here in Cincinnati. The Reds come into this game 2-3 on the season. Obviously, fresh off that 1-0 loss. Probably doesn't feel great to get shut out, but in the early season, you'll occasionally see days like this where the batters just cannot figure it out. Obviously, you'll see that throughout the season, but it just feels a little bit more likely in the early going. So we'll see what they can do in this one. They've got to feel good about their pitching situation, hitting the ball to Hunter Green. Although his first start of the season, maybe not his most electric stuff. I mean, the dude did have 8 strikeouts over 5 innings, so that's obviously great, but he did give up 2 earned runs, giving up a home run there, not great. So he'll be hoping he can have a little bit better outing, and he'll be hoping that his team can bring home a better result. In that game, it was a 6-4 loss against the San Francisco Giants. So the Reds, obviously, a team that many have picked out. I think Tim Kirkchin was the expert that was like, look out for the Reds. Maybe more experts where I try not to pay too much attention to those like sportscaster experts. So we'll see what happens here. But right now, we'll see what they can do in the NL Central. I expect the bullpen to be decent. They've been good at different points. And, last year and so far this season, I don't think it's been a disaster. The bats, on the other hand, when Elly De La Cruz is going nuts, this offense looks nuts. But when he's not, which has usually been the case over the course of his career, I mean, we'll see. He's a young guy. He can figure it out. He's technically still batting .350 on the season, has 8 RBIs through 5 games. So we'll see if he can keep up anything like that pace. But looking at the numbers for this game, apparently the odds makers like the Reds a good amount. Texas plus 112, the Reds minus 125. We've got a total here of 8.5. The Rangers 1-1 on the road, 5-1 to the under. Cincinnati 2-3 at home, and 3-2 to the over. Guys, with a total here of 8.5, I know we just had 1 run scored yesterday, so obviously both teams are in to swing the bats a little bit better, but I think under is an excellent play in this game. I like both of these starters. They're both very, very good. I know this is a tough ballpark to be playing an under in, but I think under 8.5 is probably my favorite lean on this game. And if you want a side here, it kind of feels a little bit coin flippy to me. I think I'll lean just slightly towards the Reds, but really the under is the way to go. Next up, guys, we got the Pittsburgh Pirates going on the road to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. The Pirates only 1-5 on the season, coming off getting shut out 7-0 in Game 2 of this series there at Tampa Bay, so that's not a great look. They're hoping that Skeens can kind of save them here, but 1-5 to start the year, this was supposed to be maybe a little bit of a, starting to get a little bit better year for the Pirates, but that is certainly not the case. Part of that problem was Skeens not getting off to an amazing start. I mean, it wasn't terrible. Bro gave up 2 earned runs and struck out 7 and walked 2 over 5 1/3 in his first start of the year. He was going up against the Marlins, so let's not cut him too much slack here, but this is a young guy. He's going to have some growing pains. Obviously, he's a monster. He's a flamethrower, all that good stuff, but a little bit concerning to see him, maybe have a little bit of trouble right out of the gate. He was going up against the Marlins too. Like I said, that does make it a little bit extra concerning. The bullpen for the Pirates, we'll see what they're like, once we get a bigger sample size built up, but I'm not super high on this bullpen, and the offense has been downright not good, guys. Not very good. And not a very good slugging percentage team so far. The run scored numbers are concerningly low. Nobody having a particularly hot start to the season either. So we'll see what the Pirates can do here on the road, but they're going to go up against kind of a tough team in the Tampa Bay Rays, who are hoping for a better year than last year. Not that they were garbage last year, to be honest. They were okay, and they're off to a good start. Obviously, you played the Rockies, and the Pirates. You're probably going to be okay, but we saw them get the 7-0 win in Game 2. They got the 6-1 win in Game 1. Things are trending in a positive direction here for Tampa Bay. Like I said, 4-1 in the season. We see dudes coming out of the gate swinging the bats pretty well. A lot of positives. They're hitting the ball to Ryan Pepio, another one of those positives. He came out and did a great job in his first start of the season, going up against Colorado. Obviously not the toughest hitting team, but he gave up 1 earned run, struck out 8, walked 1. He did give up 6 hits over 6 innings, so that's a little bit concerning, but really a pretty nice outing. And we did see Tampa Bay get the win in that one, winning that game 3-2. So good stuff there. I expect the Tampa Bay bullpen to be serviceable at worst, and the offense has been clicking here in the early goings. They're a bit above average, not crazy above average, but we like what we're seeing from Tampa Bay, and so do the odds makers. Well, not so much in this one, actually. They're still buying into the Skeens hype, and I don't blame them. The Pirates are minus 120. The Rays are plus 105. We've got a total of 7 out there. Pittsburgh 1-5 on the road, 4-2 to the under. Tampa Bay 4-1 at home, 4-1 to the under. I wouldn't fault anyone for taking under 7 in this game. I don't think we're going to see a ton of offense. I think we'll see both pitchers look pretty good out there, but with how poorly the Pirates are swinging the bats and how good Pepio looked in his first outing, go ahead and give me the Rays here at plus 105. Skeens, they're only going to let him pitch so many innings here. Are they going to let him pitch more than 6 innings? There's no reality where that happens. So the Rays are going to have their chances in this game, and getting plus money feels like a gift. Last but not least out there, guys, we're looking at the Arizona Diamondbacks going on the road to take on the New York Yankees. The Diamondbacks won game 1 of this series 7-6. They're 3-2 on the season. Obviously, Suarez hitting that go-ahead grand slam in the 8th inning. Pretty wild stuff to help them get that 7-5 win. Bonkers, crazy stuff. That's why you love baseball, guys. Stuff like that is why you absolutely love baseball. The Diamondbacks are hitting the ball to Zach Gallen, who got off to a terrible start to his season, bros. 0-1 on the year, already took his first loss. 9 ERA. Didn't have a good time against the Cubs, guys. 4 innings, gave up 4 earned runs on 4 hits. He gave up a home run. He walked 4, struck out 4. The control was definitely not there. He's got to be a little bit scared here to go up against the Yankees, to be honest. You miss with them, those torpedo bats are taking balls out of the ballpark. So we'll see what happens here. Obviously, the Diamondbacks not a team that I think is going to have an amazing bullpen season, but the offense definitely should be there. They're off to a good start, and I expect this to be probably one of the best offenses out there in Major League Baseball this season. So we'll see what they can do here going against the Yankees, who are 3-1 on the season. We'll see. I mean, the Yankees have had their injury problems here already in the early goings. Dude's not ready to start the season, all that. They swept the Brewers, but then took the come from behind loss there against the Diamondbacks in their last game. So we'll see what happens here. Giving the ball to Carlos Rodon, who got off to a great start to his season. He got off to a great start last year, too. Came out of the gates looking very, very good. Had his issues in the middle of the season. Finished the year up okay, but yeah, 1-0 to start the year. A 1.69 ERA and 7 strikeouts there against the Brewers. 7 Ks, 2 walks, gave up a home run, so that's not great. 4 hits on 5 1/3 innings in a 4-2 win there for the Yankees. So not going to be too upset about that. I expect their bullpen to be very serviceable this season. There have been some patches here where I'm like, whatever, but they're going to be fine. They're going to be a good bullpen over the course of the year. I still definitely have faith in that. In terms of their offense, those torpedo bats looking pretty good so far. They're first in batting average, second in runs scored, first in on-base percentage, and first in slugging percentage. So we'll see what happens. The odds makers like the Yankees here, no shock there. Diamondbacks plus 115, Yankees minus 126, a total here of 8. Arizona 1-0 on the road, 3-1-1 to the over. The Yankees 3-1 at home, 3-1 to the over themselves. Is this going to be an over game? I'm not sure, but I'm definitely backing the Yankees here at minus 126 to bounce back and get the win in this one. I think they're by far the better team. I know Zach Gallen had a bad outing, but that could turn into 2 bad outings here real quick against the Yankees. I think this is a comfortable spot if you want to be on New York. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Make sure you're getting over to stumpthespread.com. Check out all of our free picks over there. There'll definitely be a free baseball pick over there. It may not even be the same as what I'm saying here in this video because those are done by the guy who does the premium picks at stumpthespread.com. He's a genius. He knows way more what's up with baseball than I do, which is kind of crazy given how many games I cover here on a yearly basis. But regardless, the dude is a monster. His algorithms, his tools are insane. So get over there, sign up if you're interested. Thank you guys for watching. The link to Stump the Spread is down in the description like I was saying, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.